You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAC Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode. Can your ears handle it, Carson? Can they handle it?
I just hope our listeners' ears can handle it. I'll try and shoot it down in post, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry about that.
So, we're virtual this week, everybody.
Wow, way to just sit on everybody's
Sorry to
balls.
blow up the elephant in the room. Sorry to stuff some dynamite down.
I thought we were gonna do a whole
trunk.
bit about it. I thought we were gonna, and you're just like, yeah, we're virtual this week. Let's start over.
All right, roll it again.
Keep going.
This past Thursday, I didn't feel very good. Went to urgent care and got a lab test that tested positive for COVID.
Why did I know Trump voice was coming in?
Trump's in the room with us right now, actually.
Thank you, Donald.
So felt like absolute shit Thursday. Felt like shit Friday. Felt like shit Saturday. Felt like shit Sunday. And yesterday and Monday I felt pretty okay, but today I feel like totally normal. But
And did you say what you have? I missed it. I was trying to find this music.
oh, I had COVID.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, I completely missed it.
Come on, dude.
I'm sorry, man. I was trying to find my Taps bugle call, and then I realized that I could turn the volume down in the soundboard. So there was really no point for the big loud explosion at the beginning with the music.
That's okay.
Yes, everybody, it is the big
News this week that Gavin has this China virus.
Almost 3 years to the day. Almost 3 years. So today is
Okay, go on. Sir.
deep.
I was just gonna say, speaking of 3 years, this is your third time, but keep going.
three times. So
Repeat.
today is Wednesday, March 15th. You will be hearing this on Friday, March 17th. This is episode 106.
There you go. And what is Friday,
100.
Gavin? It's this very
is
special day.
What is Friday?
Are you kidding me, dude?
St. Patrick's Day.
There it is. It's our favorite holiday. We can celebrate all the white people in America once again.
Yeah.
I think you know what? I'm going to say it, Gavin. I'm going to say it. White people need another holiday.
You ever heard of Christmas?
Yeah, when Jesus the white guy died.
Jesus, the white guy?
You know that white guy,
they're
Jesus?
trying to kill Christ,
They're trying to de-gentrify Jesus.
He gets us.
He's in all of us. He's in us.
He's in me.
He's in me right now, I swear to God. I was in church this morning. I'm not going to talk about it. Don't ask.
You saw Jesus Christ with your own two eyes.
He came in me.
He came in me.
I mean, fuck. He came on me. Fuck.
So, we
Three-peat, Gavin. COVID. How are you feeling?
I feel totally normal now. Basically back to normal where I was like a week and a half ago.
So what you're saying is this virus ain't that serious, huh?
It's not that serious because I had 3 shots that helped me boost it.
But I think, you said it was fine. You said you're feeling pretty much normal now. So what's the problem with it?
So what did I do to pass the time while I was in my 5 days of quarantine? Well,
I'm curious.
I stayed up till probably 8 a.m. most days of my quarantine. I slept till like 5 or 6.
Now, typically, that's when people are getting out of bed, Gavin.
Yeah, that's not when I went into bed. I just was in bed that entire time. I just fell asleep around like 8 or 9 in the morning. So
that's a
what?
That's a good what a great schedule.
Yeah,
what a
it
great
was.
schedule, my man.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I watched per request of my father.
Okay.
I watched Hustle, the movie with Adam Sandler and Anthony Edwards, Timberwolves player, number one.
Okay.
Wasn't that bad. I it was I guess it wasn't as deep as I thought it was. I thought it'd be like a little bit more of a richer story, but it was not that deep to me.
Richard Story.
Richer story.
I have never ever heard of this movie.
It's where people call Juancho or Hernan Gomez. They call him Bo Cruz. He's Bo Cruz in that movie. He used to play for the Timberwolves too.
Oh yeah, it's his
there's
basketball
a lot
movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of it was a basketball like scout movie.
Now, what interest level did your dad like the movie and wanted you to watch it?
Yeah, because he watched
Oh.
Uncut Gems and he's like, I like Adam Sandler as like an actor, not as like a comedy actor.
I
Like,
thought you
know.
guys were like big Adam Sandler haters.
No, we are.
Oh.
But I'm just saying that like this isn't as bad as like say Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison or whatever the fuck.
That
it
makes
is.
me
But
so mad that you don't like those movies.
I watched Happy Gilmore and I literally think I cracked a smile maybe once. It's not that funny. It's really not. I mean, it's nothing inventive or new.
Guys, feel free to roast Gavin in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, but it's
I'll
just
take.
I don't know. Yeah. So I also watched Chris Rock's Netflix special. I really didn't think it was that funny at all. Like I was like, okay, I don't know. It just to me, it just wasn't that funny. I mean, whatever. But
Well, because doesn't he open it with saying something like, "Get ready for me to say some cancelable stuff." Or if
I
you're
don't-
easily offended, doesn't he say? So, doesn't he open it with something?
he says
that?
he says like you can't talk about these jokes at work or something like that.
Oh, I thought it was like a whole. Well, because isn't the special called something like
I don't even fucking know,
uncancelable
dude.
or something?
But I don't even know, dude. But it wasn't that good. I was not impressed. It wasn't again, nothing new, nothing inventive. There was no new takes I saw. But he's doing his thing. He knows how to make people laugh. But there was a couple times I cracked a smile. But I don't know. I wasn't very impressed. I didn't
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, okay, this is. I mean, he's like multiple on Netflix. I didn't know that, but he has like multiple specials on Netflix.
It's called
Um,
selective outrage.
Yeah, and he does address that, but
What does that even mean?
there's basically saying there's like a double standard, like people get outraged about one thing but not the other. Yeah, selective. I don't know. You have to watch the special. It's not very good, but
That's all I've heard is it's not good.
yeah, it's very very lukewarm takes. There is nothing that is like, oh wow, you blow the fucking top off on this shit.
But is
And
he like?
he ends the special with talking about the Will Smith stuff. So anybody
That's what I've
wanted
heard.
to anybody who wanted to watch it for the Will Smith stuff, you have to watch like 45 minutes of that shit, and then the last 15 minutes is maybe him talking about it. Like it's not.
Now, are these takes like right leaning, left leaning? What are his like
He's-
lukewarm takes, or middle of the
I mean,
road?
no,
Like you don't
not
even
like
know.
it's very middle of the road. But I will say he had like some pro trans stuff in there.
Oh, good.
So that's good. But there was
Can't tell his friend Chappelle that though.
and it was funny because I will say it was funny whenever he's like Will Smith is like a big dude. He's like I do not like on stage we look the same size, but this dude is like way bigger than me. And I thought that was funny because
So was that section at the end about the Will Smith thing interesting?
it was a little bit interesting, I think, but that was really the only part that was like really worth listening to. But
Any
'cause-
takeaways from that you can share with me? Because I will not
really.
watch it.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it at all. It's I mean,
But from
you're
the
not
Will
missing out.
Smith stuff, was there anything that you were like, "Oh, I didn't think about that," or "I didn't know that," kind of thing?
No, he was just saying that one of the things that stuck with me is that he's like, like I was raised right
Oh,
because he
okay.
doesn't smack people.
Right.
he like
Well, I
basically
think
he's
Will
like
Smith has some
everybody.
demons
Yeah.
that he's battling internally and
I
externally
think-
in his family.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right. And he's like, we've all been cheated on, blah blah, blah, but like, basically saying like handle your shit better.
Yeah.
like-
Handle your woman.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what we're
there
here
you
to
go.
say
Yeah,
today.
that's what we're handle say. So another thing that I did was I read. You can't see it.
Uh-oh. You got to put it in
I
front
read
of
half of this book in one sitting. Dark Matter.
Dark matter. Okay.
You can see it there. Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Oh, and you just went away for a
completely by Mike Crouch. Mike Crouch.
second. I don't think you can say that anymore.
No. It's really good. I don't think
Who's it
anybody's
by?
gonna like. It's by Blake Crouch.
Oh, you literally said that.
Yeah, I said that, Carson.
Missing a lot of context cues today.
Yeah, yeah, you really have. I've had to repeat myself multiple times already. So keep your ears open for this one because I'm not explaining this again. It's a mind fuck. This book is a mind fuck.
All right, I'm listening.
So basically this guy, the book starts out like this guy is like a college professor and he's successful. He has a wife and a kid and he lives in Chicago and he's just, basically the start of the book is that like, he's successful and, basically like he thinks he's successful, but he has a couple regrets here and there about like, having like his wife announced that she was pregnant to him and like that was whenever he like had to stop and drop like his son had a lot of troubles in like the NICU and it was like a preemie and all that stuff like that and it said like I had to drop my lab work and my research to raise my kid with my wife and my wife had to give up her art and like but she's a happy stay-at-home mom and like everything's all right and my friend is like this highly successful like award-winning research guy. So
And this is a true story, or
no, it's not true.
Okay.
It's not true at all. It's a
I didn't
complete
think so,
sci-fi
but-
story.
Okay.
But I'm just setting it up. So
Okay.
he goes to the bar to meet his friend who's like celebrating with his class because he's also like a professor,
Mhm.
but he does research and he has a couple drinks and like kind of has like a standoffish attitude with his friend. The main character's name is Jason.
Blake Crouch.
Yeah, it's Jason. I remembered it was Jason. And
Like Friday. Never mind.
no, not like Friday the 13th. Shut up. And so on his way back to the apartment, this guy in a geisha mask like puts a gun like what gets run over by a taxi, and this guy in a geisha mask
I think it's
comes
Geisha.
geisha mask comes up and like puts a gun up to the back of his head and was like walk to this car. And so like he drives him and
Mhm.
he's like trying to text his wife and like try and get everything like trying to text his wife like, hey, I need help, and like he has like a gun pointed in the back of his head as he's driving this car like downtown Chicago and like taking the highways, and then he gets taken to like this abandoned factory, and he strips naked in this factory. The guy's like,
Ooh.
take off your clothes.
Now I'm interested.
And then like he like kicks him on the ground and like he like injects him with something, and he's like, what the fuck did you inject into me? And he's like, God, I feel awful. Like I feel like I have like this massive headache coming on. And he's like naked going through like this cold dark factory. It's like winter in Chicago, and then they like go down these stairs and he tries double cross, like he tries like beating him up. He has a gun pointed at the back of his head, but he tries like disarming him and like grabbing him, and then it's then like he falls down the stairs and then they end up like he's like, nice try. The captor is like, nice try, like, well, nice try, you did that or whatever. And they get to the bottom of the stairs and he's like, put these clothes on. And he's like, why? And he's like, put the clothes on. And then he like sits him down and he injects him with something in his chair, and then he like starts interviewing him to like get him to know everything about him, like to the T. And he's like falling in and out of sleep and stuff like that. And then he wakes up and he's like in like a all white hangar, and he wakes up and like he's in this hangar, and he's like, where am I? And then like there's like a whole bunch of people charge in with like hazmat suits and they like disinfect him and like try to like get to know like what happened. And he's like, what do you mean what happened? Like, what are you talking about? And then like he's like, this guy is like, you don't know who I am? And he's like, no, I don't know who you are. He's like, but we've like worked together for like the last like 15 years. Like what happened? And he's like I don't know. So they like take him to like this like it seems like it's just like an interview room where it's just like him and a table with him, a table, and the other person, and then the lights come up and then he's like in front of like a stage of people, and like they're all like clapping at him and they're like, congratulations, you did it, blah 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 blah. And he's like, what the fuck is happening?
Fuck?
And so then he he's like totally disoriented. He has no idea what happened, and like he gets taken out. He gets taken to like his own like hotel room, basically in this like all white facility, like this sterile area, and he's like he's in the bathroom, and then he locks himself in the bathroom, sees a window, and then climbs out the window and jumps out, and he like runs back into like downtown Chicago. So he's still in Chicago, and so he's like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm gonna go home. I gotta go tell my wife like I got captured, and you know like I gotta go home. So like he goes home, and like it's not his apartment. It's like his apartment, but it's like none of the stuff that he had on the fridge or the walls or any of the fixtures or anything. It's just like it's still like his apartment. It has his name. It's got like his awards, and it's got like his bachelor's or his PhD and stuff like that. And but then like he's like where's my wife's stuff? Right. And then his wife's name, he like sees like. He sees that like his wife is still has made art, and she didn't make art before. So he's like, oh, that's weird that like she has art on the wall with like her maiden name. And so like it's like a total mind fuck. And then like these people are chasing after him, and then like he escapes, and like he escapes, and then he's like, I need to go to a hospital. So then he goes to the hospital, and they're like, hey, like what's going on? And like he's like, I don't know, like I think something happened. And he's like, I think I have like a tumor. So they like get like he gets like an MRI and all that stuff like that. And then they're like, yeah, you said you're like a professor at this college? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, they're like, your name isn't in any of the colleges around here. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then they're like, well, like, what do you mean? And he's like, he's like, I teach there. Like, I have students. I know students' names. Like, and he's like, let me call my wife. And then they're like, we tried calling your wife, and like, that's not her name. It's like some guy named Ralph. Keeps picking up the phone.
What the fuck? And
so then like, basically, he gets back. He finds his wife, and his wife's successful. The successful like artist. He's got like an art show at like this warehouse, and like she's like, whoa, what are you doing here? And she's like, I was trying to find you, but nobody's seen you in the last like 14 months. And so he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know what, I'll just play along. He's like, yeah, you know what, it has been 14 months. And so he's like, okay, all right, whatever. And then he like sees his friend who was kind of standoffish with him at the bar, and before he got drugged or whatever. And then he like gets up out of the bar, or he like is at that his friend named Ryan, I think, is at this art exhibit, and he's like flirting with his like what he thinks is his wife. So he's like, what the fuck are you doing with my wife, dude? Right. Like he's like, what is going on? Anyway, basically he finds out that like the person with the geisha mask is him in this universe. There's two universes. One where he has his wife and kid, and in this universe where he's this highly successful like guy who like learned how to like superposition a human being to time travel between realities. Not time travel, but like travel between realities.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like it's literally the most insane thing. I was like, what? It took me a couple times to like read like some paragraphs, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But like,
and you're only like halfway through this book?
Yes, yeah.
And by the way, like, spoiler alert for Dark Matter.
Yeah, I guess so. If anybody would, but it's been out for like 10 years, I think. But
no,
Zack Snyder gave it to me. Big shout out to him. But I really enjoyed half of this book at least, and it gets really insane. But it's a really good read. But that's like the setup is that like he gets replaced by himself.
Is there? Did they make this into a movie?
Maybe. But
it sounds
it's
like a movie
almost
plot I've heard of before.
Yeah, Interstellar is kind of similar in a way. Okay, like there are some plot points in that, but I think maybe there are some places, but like this one was like really fucked up, because like he gets abducted again by the lab that like he woke up in, and they like kill this successful artist that he thinks is his wife after he tells them like, hey, or tells his wife Danielle, which is not really his wife, that like he tells her like, yeah, we have a kid together. And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, this is so fucked up. And like she like takes care of him because he's like not doing well, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, and like this hitman is sent out, and he like shoots her, and then he like gets abducted and taken back to the lab. And then he like they're like, we're not fucking around, what's up, like tell us what happened. And he's like I don't know what's happened, but he's like slowly started to figure out like what happened.
Okay.
But he keeps lying to them because he's like, I don't want them to kill me because they killed Danielle.
Right.
And then they kill like his friend Ryan, and then like this psychiatrist who works there is like, I'm going to break you out. So they like break out, and then she like takes him to this like giant cube that he was working on. In the universe that he was originally in, he was working on like this small like 1 centimeter box that like would superimpose one atom, like superposition one atom. But in this other universe, he like learned how to make this box giant, able to fit a human, and like stuff like that. So I'm in the part of the book where like they have to find their way back to the actual realities that they came from.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's like 1984 and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy combined.
Yeah, it's super cool. I was totally blown away by this, but sorry for talking so much about that.
No,
but,
now I don't have to read it.
Yeah, exactly. And then
but I feel, I mean,
what's going on with
obviously a book is like, there's so much to it that like, I mean, obviously that is a spoiler for what happens, which of course I don't give a fuck about. But like, I'm sure there's so much. Obviously, there's so much more to it that's cool and like interesting. So it's like I could and still want to read it based off of that.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like that's ruining anything for me personally. But that's
So-
cool. But you read
Yeah,
that, and you said, what did you say? Like a day? You read
yeah,
half
I
of
read
that?
it. I read like that in like 2 hours. I like sat down at like
Jesus.
3 a.m. and read it till like 5 or 6.
Of course, and then go to bed at 8 a.m.
Yeah. Then I was like, wow, this is really good. I can't put this down.
So that was your COVID time.
Yeah.
Oh, and then now what I was gonna say is, obviously history repeats itself for you. Next time you get COVID, just finish the book then.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll probably be a few months, just do it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
I would just like to say, for the record, I am still immune. I think I'm immune to this virus. I do have one extra shot that you don't have, that I got more recently than you got your booster.
Well, technically now I have a shot,
Well, you have a shot that I don't have.
which is
Okay.
actual COVID.
Oh well, yeah, that's true. Now you have the good stuff. We're trying to get.
I have
your
the real
blood.
thing.
But listen,
I don't have none of that mRNA. I have pure blood.
I don't have the MRI. I don't got any of that.
Yeah, none of that.
But listen, man, I go to these large gatherings all the time for different various cults and stuff, and I never have gotten sick.
Speaking of cults, you went to a concert last night, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, man. I got a few things going on in my world, in my life, that I'd like to talk about, but the most fresh and recent on my mind. And by the way, I didn't say what we're talking about today. We're kind of just catching up. We just have a lot of stuff going on that we just want to talk about. I mean, really, there's nothing like, the only like big quote unquote topic we're going to be talking about is the Oscars, which we'll probably be pretty brief on, and then next door drama and what you listen to. So pretty chillaxed,
Mellow day.
up here. But it's fun because I think we just have so much that like personal stuff that's fun to talk about. So I'll get right into it. I think I talked about it last week or somewhat recently. Maybe I even talked about it when I bought the tickets, but I finally got to see one of my favorite bands of all time, Under Oath, live for the first time in my entire life last night.
There you go.
And seeing Under Oath live specifically, I will get to the concert as a whole in a minute, was amazing. It was so fulfilling. But before I get to that, let's start from the genesis of my night. So it was at a venue called The Pageant in St. Louis. If you don't know what it is, look it up.
Look it up.
But I bought my tickets. I bought pre-sale tickets, which I'd never bought before. Pre-sale is when you and a girl are getting excited, and then some comes out. So I bought these tickets back in December, and when I bought them, I had no idea that they were going to be like that. I had to go get them at a will call or at the box office.
Really? Oh,
which
really?
I'd never done before.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah, they're pre-sale, like whatever. And then it was like, okay, you got the tickets now on the day of the show, 2 hours before or later, you can go pick them up. And I was like, can't you just send it to me? Like, I don't want to do that. Like,
Right.
It was cool to get a physical ticket, but like, I ain't no fucking old duck here. I don't need to go.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's cool to have a physical ticket, but I don't really care.
I really like the pageant too as like a venue in general.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more intimate, in my opinion.
Sure. It's an intimate, larger venue, which I like. I do like that. I don't know. I won't really get into my specific gripes about it. Well, I kind of will, but I'm not going to get too much in the weeds on it.
Dude, get into it.
I'm trying to. So I didn't know that, but I went to go pick. I got so big for a minute. I went to go pick him up. I picked him up, and then I went through the metal. I went through the metal detector, and I was like, "What do I need to take out of my pocket?" And they're like, "Oh, nothing. Just leave everything in your pockets."
So my gun.
Right, and I was like, "So what the fuck is the point of this metal detector?" Because I had metal.
So my gun.
I had metal stuff going through, and nothing went off. And I was like, "What is happening?" And they're like, "Okay, you're good." And I was like, "All right." So I go up to the entrance, like you go inside, and then somebody scans your ticket.
Yeah.
And then checks your ID as well. Give them my ticket, they
And
scan
then
it.
they check your gun.
And they check my gun. And they're like, huh, and they shoot it down the hallway.
Yeah.
They shoot it out the window. And then so I gave the person, I shouldn't say her, I gave the person my ID. And mind you, I got to the concert about 20 minutes after it started because of the funeral visitation. It wasn't my usual late ass. It was, I had obligations before. Okay. And I did really want to see the opening band because they're a band that I really like, this band Loathe. So I get there and like, I'm just like, I'm amped to get in. I want to get in and go see Loathe, or at least catch a couple songs. And she just like, it's just like taking out every different color of flashlight and checking my ID. For like, I'm not even joking, like, I mean, a minute doesn't sound like a long time, but it was the longest minute of my life. And at one point, I was just going to be like, I'm like, just give me whatever stamp that says I'm not 21 if you don't think it's real. Like, I'm not buying a drink. It's a fucking Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Just please let me go inside.
Yeah.
But every different color and like,
Green,
she was like,
purple,
seriously.
blue,
She's like, check. Like,
yellow.
and then finally she's like, okay, give me your right hand. And I was like, okay. And then I went in.
Here you go.
It was just so stupid. So I get in. I was able to catch the last two songs by Loathe, which were really good. And thankfully, like, two of the songs I know them best for, they played, which is really cool.
Good.
So they were the main opening band. There was two openers before Under Oath. The second opener is this band, Periphery. Now, I had never heard of them until Under Oath announced that they were touring with them, that they were going to be an opener. And I was like, oh, I've never heard of them. That's interesting. Looked them up. And I was instantly like, I don't like this band. It's just that, like, it's called gent. It's like a specific kind of metal called gent, which is, I think it's spelled D-G-E-N-T, I want to say. Maybe D-J, gent. But I don't know, like, the specific definition of it. But it's just this, like, very
wall of sound.
Annoying. Fuck no. It's like the worst wall of sound ever. It's just like, it's like the kind of heavy metal that has screaming in it that is still appropriate enough to play on like the radio.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, it's heavy, but there's no curse words in it. And it's just like very like acceptable to like radios. And that's why there are so many gent bands, is because like radios will actually play their music instead of like screamo bands and metalcore and hardcore bands.
Right.
And it's just like they all sound the fucking same. And so I was not into this Periphery band. But my thing, and we're going to, and the other thing is if we leave for a minute and come back, if there's weird gaps or we repeat ourselves, it's because we're using the Zoom free version. And so we have to like restart every once in a while. Just a note for the listeners. I always go into a concert where I'm going to see a band that I don't know anything about, or maybe I had like, preconceived notions about them of like either maybe being like kind of lukewarm on them, or maybe even not even liking them at all. And then I see them live with an open mind, and I would say almost every single time I've become either a really big fan of that band or just like, yeah, okay, there was a song in there that I liked. This band came on and I was just like, oh my God, this sucks. This like actually sucks. Like this is just like, it was terrible.
Drivel.
And it was like, I can listen to a bad band. I can watch a bad band play live if there's energy in their stage presence.
Right.
Because like that's entertaining enough. I don't need their music to be good as long as they're entertaining. Not only did their music suck, but they didn't fucking move. Like these guys are like early 30s, late 20s. The singer would move, but like he would just move in this like circle, you know. And then like the most they would like the guitar players were just like, and it's not like they're playing anything like
just rocking silently back and forth.
Yeah, it was just like the most boring chords. And there's these things called chugadas where it's just like they're just like it's got to be a pedal that they hit, but then they're just playing the lowest note on the top the lowest string.
The string, yeah.
And just going, it's like chugada, chug 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 chugada, like just like it's a certain rhythm, but it just sounds like they're just like holding it down, so it's like it's not like open up. It's just like a very specific like beat sound, and they just had like chugada breakdowns for like every song, and they were so simple, and the guitar players were just standing there, and I'm like, what is this? It just sucked. And then what sucked even more?
Vibe.
No, not at all. And what sucked even more about it is they're like, oh, we're gonna play a song off P2, which I guess they called their albums Periphery 1, Periphery 2, which is like whatever. And then they're like, this song's called Ragnarok. And I was like, oh my God. It's like what I'm like, you guys are just like making this worse for me.
Yeah. Cause
like not only does your music suck, your stage presence sucks, and now you're unoriginal in naming your songs after Thor Marvel movies.
Dude, it's Viking lore.
For sure. That's definitely what they were thinking when they were writing all the songs for P2. And then back to the gent thing, the gent genre. Apparently they just released an album called like, it's called Gent Is Not Dead is the name of the album. So they're self-aware about their shitty genre that they're in. And then the singer said something that I was just like, people laughed at, and I was just like, man, that's not a great thing to say. He goes, yeah, we're going to play this next song like, we're here to gentrify this city. But gent like the genre.
The genre, yeah.
But I was like, that's not a great thing to say. I don't care. Like, I don't care if it's a joke. Like, I don't need some fucking white ass band coming in and making a joke about gentrifying a city, even though, of course, they're not actually saying gentrify.
Right.
But I was just like,
the gent.
Right. And it's like our city is already so like gentrified in like very low income areas that it was just like, of course, all the white people in the audience ate it up, which was like 90% of the people out there. But that just made me go like, that was the first time I've ever been like, oh man, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Because
like the fact that like people were eating their music up and liked that he just said that, I was just like, man, I don't want to be here. This sucks. Here. I get why people are like, nah, I don't listen to that kind of music because it's for white people.
Yeah.
Like I totally was just like in that moment I was just like I get why people hate why they have preconceived notions about hardcore and metal and stuff like that. It's because of stupid fucking
What's the stuff that they are allowed to play on the radio?
Right, exactly. And it's all by white people still. So
always has been, always will be, Carson.
I guess so. Unfortunately is kind of the way it goes, besides, awesome bands like Zulu and Jesus Peace and stuff like that. And there's older bands who weren't all white dudes for back in the day. But like
Living Color.
Yeah, right.
That band.
They were a hardcore band.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
they're a hardcore band, but I mean they were like metal, you know.
Yeah, no, they were
Rock,
they're
hard rock.
Yeah, no, they were. So anyways, that was annoying to get off of annoying stuff about the night. And then
So what was good, Carson? What was so good about this show?
what was good is when Periphery got off the fucking stage and Under Oath came on,
nice.
which, to give a slight backstory, I have been a massive Under Oath fan since my oldest brother, Logan, showed me their music and so long ago that I don't even remember when he showed it to me.
Yeah.
Like 10, 11, 8, I don't know, really young. And we could, you know, I feel like some people will listen to their music and be like, you know, like your parents were letting you listen to this stuff when you were young. But that's because at that time they were a Christian screamo band. They're like the pioneers of popularizing Christian screamo. And it was
popularizing Skillet.
Right, yeah, well, Skillet's not screamo. Skillet is okay. Skillet is the gent of Christian metal.
Okay.
Like I would even consider Skillet a gent band. I don't know if they still are, but at the time I was a fan of them.
At one point they were.
When I was a fan of them, they were. And that's why I like them. So I've been.
They went on mission trips and stuff like that, right?
I'm sure, probably. I don't know. Now they're doing like the Stronger Men conference shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. They're doing weird shit like that. I mean, they always have been doing weird shit.
I love it.
But I've been a huge fan of them because they're Christian. No, I didn't even know that for the long. Actually, like, I don't even think I knew that for like years and years and years. Maybe even after they broke up, that I was like, oh, they're Christian. They're a Christian screamo band, really?
Right.
Because then you start listening to the lyrics and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And it's actually kind of funny and a little bit fucked up. And I don't know this for sure. I literally just offhanded heard somebody mention this, that like their first few albums, which came out back in 1998, their first EP came out, which is crazy.
So these are a bunch of old rockers.
You would think that, but they're like that. That was when Aaron, who is the leader of the band, he's the drummer and lead vocalist, which is fucking cool.
Yeah. Phil Collins.
Right, he's Phil Collins. I consider him I'm
better than Phil Collins.
No, I consider him the Levon Helm of the screamo. Levon Helm of the band. He was one of the lead vocalists, and he also played the drums. He was 16, maybe even like 15 when their first album came out.
Wow.
So like, you know, they're like late 30s, early 40s now.
Yeah,
so they're not even that old.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that in a minute too, but their first few albums, their first EPs had like anti-abortion screamo songs on them. Like it was like that hardcore Christian kind of stuff.
Nice.
And it's cool now because they're like, once they disbanded, and we'll have to go here in a second, come back. They disbanded, and when they came back together, one of the reasons they came back together is because they were all kind of like, I know they all have their own separate beliefs, but they're like, we're not a Christian band anymore. And a lot of people were pissed off about that, including me. No. And it was like, and at that time, I didn't really know what that would mean, but like, it was a good thing for obvious reasons. And we'll be right back after this. All right, bastards, we're back. We're back. So back to Under Oath. Anyways, they disbanded in like 2010 and came back and came out as a non-Christian band, which was a good move for them for a bunch of different reasons, but just for their music as a whole. Financial. Anyways, super big fan of them for a long time. Really looked up to, I think I've even brought this up on the show before, have always looked up to Aaron Gillespie, their drummer, singer, since I was a kid, like growing up, really wanting to be, like play the drum set. Like he was the guy I looked up to. Like he was my idol in that sense of like, you know, wanting to play the drum set because he was just so good at it. And then there was always that like, even though I never sang, was never in choir or anything, you always
still
have that,
suck at singing.
and I still do. You always have that dream of being like, yeah, I want to be. That'd be so cool to be the lead vocalist in a band, and like combining those two dreams of mine into one. He was like the perfect fit for me. So he was like always
Right.
such an idol to me. I've been watching him play drums live, since I was a kid, looking up videos of him on YouTube and on YouPorn. I mean YouTube.
Porn dude.
Porn tub. That's pretty good. So like it was just so fucking cool to watch him play live, especially. I mean, like of course it's cool to see the band as a whole, but like, I mean, he's kind of what I'm there for in a sense, because like he's was such a big part of me growing up. And they're just fucking awesome live. Like their energy is fucking bonkers, off the wall.
That's good. That's
It's
good.
been, their energy has always been like super high.
Yeah.
And it was just cool to like see them in a city that probably didn't sell well for them. I mean, it was packed, but like they like closed out the balcony because I'm sure, because also it's a metal show, so it was standing room only. But I'm also sure that was because they didn't sell enough tickets to keep that open. So it looked like a ton of people were there, but also is because like we couldn't really disperse.
Yeah.
We're all just fucking jammed. And
Yeah.
that was also funny too, because there was multiple attempts at mosh pits that didn't work because it was so packed near the pit.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just like, it was everything I wanted it to be. It was so cool. And like Aaron he doesn't play the drums. He fucking just beats the shit out of his drums. And like, he's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard or seen someone hit floor toms as hard as he does. I mean, like, I don't know how he's not breaking a drum head every night. Like, it's just so
based
cool.
off of the description of what you just described, I'm surprised he doesn't either.
And it's like, it's cool because not only is the music super heavy, but he is such a technically skilled drum set player.
And technically, like, sound.
Yeah, and he plays guitar. I mean, he's just like a music savant. Like he literally
Yeah.
just is.
Yeah.
And his rhythms, like even in the songs when he was probably like 18, just these crazy fucking triplet rhythms while he's also singing. It's just insane. It's just like so cool. And it was awesome to see them live. And their energy was crazy. And like the reception, St. Louis crowds are very weird. I've kind of come to realize. We are very, like, we have like this pent up energy, and we like, everybody there wants to be in a mosh pit.
Right.
But like we're so Midwestern and weird that like we like feel like we need to be straight laced and just can't like express. There's too many people that just can't express themselves.
Right.
So like we all
and
want
then
to like do this.
on the flip
but-
side, you have people like the Grateful Dead guy at Johnny's concert last February, where he was like just like,
well, yeah, and that's
just, like-
old dudes for you. And that's great. Like that's what I want everybody to be. But like,
yeah,
we're
that's
just
what I mean.
like-
Is that like you have people like that too,
Right.
Who like aren't afraid to do it. But I'm just saying
Yeah.
that, like, you know,
But like we're really like self-conscious.
yeah.
And like, you know,
You don't
not
wanna
even
stand
just
out. You don't want to stand out in St. Louis,
Right.
you know what I
right.
mean?
Like nobody, like everybody wants to mosh, but they won't do it. Everybody wants to sing along, but they won't do it. Like we really need to be encouraged. Like we're for whatever reason, St. Louis crowds like need to be encouraged to do the things that we want to do.
Right.
Like it's very weird.
Even
so,
though we'll
like-
do them anyway.
Right, yeah. Like eventually we'll do them. So like the songs that weren't technically the hits, and like Under Oath, what I say as like the hits for Under Oath are their like, especially
They're Christian stuff.
they're Christian. No, well, literally. I mean, like their first 3 albums are like what people know them for, and especially that first album, They're Only Chasing Safety, is like their album of hits, and it's a fucking great album. Like I love it, but I also love their new stuff. But like that's what a lot of those people are there for, just like any concert, of course.
So they held
And-
a prayer right before, right?
Of course, they would actually do that like back in the early days on Warped Tour, and this guy Fat Mike from NoFX like would come in and like make fun of them in their prayers, like because like all the Christian metal bands would get together and pray and do Bible studies, and Fat Mike would just come and make fun of them, which that's a whole nother thing. But so like people got excited when the hits were played, but they didn't get so excited. They weren't like as super receptive to whenever like the newer stuff would play. And like a lot of times I was like, these fuckers even like, I don't even know if these people have
this
heard.
Band?
Right. Well, really, I was just like, I don't even think they've heard it. Like they just came out with a new song, which I'm not recommending this week on my What You Listening To, but I will just recommend it now, called Let Go. It's a fucking banger. It's so good. And it just came out 2 weeks ago, and they played it live, which was awesome. But like, I don't think anybody had heard it besides like me and a few other people I could tell. Right. But everybody else was like, oh, a new song? What? And it was just like, I don't know, it's just stupid. But when they played the hits that were the heavy hitters, like everybody in the pit, on the outskirts, like went nuts. And
guy went up to the balcony,
jumped
flipped off.
He died, and they sent him to heaven right there.
They performed an exorcism on stage.
It was awesome, but like people just went nuts, and it was like such a cool feeling to have like everybody like getting so pumped when like the breakdowns of these like specific songs would come in,
and also for like your favorite band.
Right, yeah, and it's just like, and to see the band,
that's always a cool thing.
Yeah,
like,
and the band's getting into it, and it's just like there was one song where during the breakdown, like no joke, like everybody around me in the whole, like in the whole like area, like everywhere, was like jumping. Like it was it was so cool. It was awesome.
It was like a Pitbull concert,
right? And I wish that was like,
yeah.
I just wish that energy was throughout the whole, whole, set for Under Oath. Fuck Periphery. But I just wish they kept. I just
did they
wish
do an encore?
They didn't, and it was which was weird. Yeah, they played their last song, "Writing on the Walls," which is like their biggest hit, and that was one where everybody went fucking nuts.
Guys, calm down.
Calm down, guys.
You're a real buzzkill the whole concert.
Yeah, they're like, guys, please calm down. Yeah, because it was weird because I was standing there expecting like, okay, maybe an encore is gonna happen, but no, like the guitar player came out and threw his picks out and like took the set list off and came down into the audience, like gave it to somebody.
Oh, cool.
It was cool because Aaron came over to. I was sitting like stage left, like very stage left, and he came over right to our section to throw drumsticks to people, and then I was like, I'm one of those people who is like. I mean, like, it'll be cool if I catch a guitar pick, if I catch a drumstick, but, like, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not going to be like, oh, my God, I need to get one right now.
Yeah.
But I was like, if there's one person who I would actually want to get one from, it would be him.
Yeah.
And, like, I was like, if I really wanted to be a go-getter and get one, I probably could have. But I was just kind of standing there, like, I was like, look at me over here. Like, I didn't wave to him, but I was just kind of like, and then I didn't get one. But I was like, oh, man. But it was just
one bounced off your head and then went.
Yeah, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, I wanted that. That's mine. But yeah, enough about that. It was just awesome. They play. Fuck, dude, I could talk about this fucking concert forever. They played a song off of their 2010 album, which I don't think they've ever played a song off that album before, and I love that album. It's super heavy. The other weird thing is that one of their guitar players is just not on tour with them right now, and they're like not saying anything about it. And like everybody's kind of like, nobody's really talking about it because he's kind of like, he's a part of the band and he has been since like, the conception technically. But like he's kind of just like, he's just kind of really there on tour, and like that's kind of it. So like only a few people in the comments are like, where is this guy at? And just like they're not saying anything about it. So that was kind of weird. And it also kind of sucked because like I would have loved to seen like everybody. And so like it was kind of like I kind of wish he was there. Like I would have loved to see like every single person there.
Did they have like someone filling in, or did they just not have a guitar?
They just had the lead guitar, Tim.
Wow.
Yeah, the other guy, his name's James. I'll just say it. I don't know why I'm trying not to say it, but yeah, he was not there.
It's a violation of his privacy.
Of OSHA.
Yeah.
But whatever. The fucking concert was fucking awesome. It was so cool. I got to move on from it. I just got to move on. There's more that I have, and I keep looking at it like I want to say it, but I just need to get off of it.
You'll probably address it in future too. It'll come up again.
Yeah, it'll come up again so I can nerd out about my Christian metalcore shit.
Yeah. So we have a quick ad read.
Yeah.
Before we move on to our next session here.
Well, I got a few more things. Is that
Jesus,
okay?
dude.
We can keep everything very brief, but you know what? What time are we at? Like we're about like 45 minutes in, probably almost.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Is there anything I really need to bring up today? Not really. You know what, man? What if we let's skip Next Door Drama this week? What do you think about
fuck
that?
you.
Fuck you, Next Door Drama. So that way we can, because you had another thing I wanted to talk about with you, and then I have too many other things that I want to talk about with you.
Yeah.
Well, so we're gonna bypass Next Door Drama this week. Sorry, you Next Door heads. Even though I think most people probably have never even heard our Next Door Dramas because you don't get that far into the episode.
They're good though.
They are good. Couple things, Gavin, if you don't mind, and then man. And then we can do our ad read, and then we'll double back to the other thing that we were talking about earlier that I wanted you to bring up. I brought up a few weeks ago that I got a new job. I got hired. No, I started a new gig, as we call it in the biz, Gavin. Sure you don't know what that's like. And I'm coming out and I'm talking about it.
Finally.
No, I just.
I've known for a while.
That's true. Gavin's been on the ground floor since the beginning.
And now we're already on like the fucking 10th floor. We're waiting for the answer, dude.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah.
I just mentioned that I didn't want to say exactly what it was until I was like, more in the thick of it. And now I am in the thick of it. And now I'm ready to bring it up. So, as you all know, well, maybe people don't know. I really don't talk about it too much on this show.
Yeah, you talk about it with like friend groups, but you don't really say much about it like here.
Yeah, I do. It's more jokey, or it's more like when you bring it up, and then my thing.
You act like you don't care too much about it.
Or like I'm kind of like, yeah, it's whatever, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or my other favorite thing to do with it is like act like you guys know exactly what I'm talking about whenever I bring it up.
Yeah.
And that is, of course, which maybe you don't know that I have an obsession for this. It is disc golf.
Big frolfer.
We don't call it that. I always knew it as frolf, and then like now that I've been
up frolfing, and you're like, what is this?
And then I was like, bluewaffle.com. What?
Holy fuck, porn dude.
Porn tub. Welcome back to the porn tub.
Porntub.com. Get your whacker out and rank it off to our
porn
stuff.
hub. Get your porn tub.
Call your stepsis and get into the porn tub.
So, yeah, fuck whatever, frolfing, who cares? Disc golf. I've been obsessed since since its conception in 1970 whatever. Yeah, I know a thing or two. My oldest brother, again, Logan, who I just brought up a second ago, seems to have a lot of influence on me, if you couldn't tell. And this influence happened to come around July of last year. And he's been playing disc golf for years and years and years, just on and off for fun and stuff like that. And like he did get really into it. Like it was kind of like off and on with how like into it he was. And I think like July of last year was another swing where he was like really into it. And he was talking about it, and I think my mom brought up somebody that like we know that's like maybe even a pro or something. And it was at the dinner table one night when we were over there. And I was just kind of like, I don't even know what came upon me, but I was just like, oh, Logan, like, let me know. I'd love to go play with you sometime. So we go and play, and then like I just like hit the ground running from there. I was just like obsessed since the first time I picked up a disc. I just became obsessed with it, and just
he's got a whole bag and a whole bunch. He can explain all the different discs and what they do, but
I can. Some of them go in your butt.
Some of them don't even get thrown.
Some of them don't even get thrown. You just look at them.
Yeah. Wow,
You just
that's really
admire
cool.
'em.
Yeah. Like your skillet frisbee.
Skillet. What if it was like your fucking skillet frisbee?
Yeah, like your fucking iron skillet or some shit like that. I
or
don't know.
whatever.
Or
Anyways,
whatever.
became obsessed with it. Still am very obsessed with it. And around like January-ish, I've just been like, ever since getting obsessed with it, just like either watching old coverage videos on this channel called Jomez, which is like where I first like started watching disc golf videos. And then like from there you find out about the pros, and then you start going, oh, these pros are cool. Like I want to know more about them. And then like, it's just like with any sport, like you start finding out about the pros, and then you're like, well, let's go. What are the pros doing?
Yeah.
And
What do they look like?
What do they look like?
Yeah.
And then it was from
How do
there.
they play? Like what? Like how do I imitate them? Like,
Right,
what do they do when
exactly.
they throw?
Yeah, because it's
We
like
did that with MLB 2K. We would always
Right.
try to make like diving plays and shit like that.
yeah,
with
it's like
baseball,
any
so.
sport. And like you said, you watch guys and you're like, okay, how do they putt, or how do they do their drives? How are their tee shots? How can I replicate that? Because like obviously
Right.
it's working for them. Maybe it's not going to work for me. Let's try. It's just like that. And from that, I found out that a lot of the pros have their own YouTube channels. And then from there, I became obsessed with watching a bunch of different pros who have their own channels.
Individually.
Yeah, individually, their own individual channels. And became obsessed with that. That starts going on. And then actually it was more like around, oh no, it was like fall. Well, I won't get into that. But anyways, I see that that's happening, and then become obsessed with it, and then I'm watching it a lot, and then I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do this.
I can handle it from here.
I'm like, okay, I'm obsessed with this. I love watching this. How do I insert myself to like, be watching these videos, but then like in a way that I make money? And it's like, well, obviously I love making videos. I love editing, like I love filming stuff more than editing, but like, I have too much other stuff going on that I can't just go on tour for however long to film for a channel or for a specific person or whatever.
Right.
So I reached out to one of the pros who has a channel named Ezra Aderhold, and I had been watching his videos for months and months and months. And he does these practice round videos whenever they go to a new stop, a new stop, or just the next stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And it's him and Brody.
The PDGA.
The PDGA is the sanctimonious, the
Ronda Sanctimonious.
the nucleus. And so he would film these practice round videos with his friend Brody Smith, who's another pro, which I'll get into Brody in a minute because it's kind of a cool and funny story, with me being like a fan of him like years and years ago. But I hit him up, was just like, with a lot of my business ventures go.
Your resume.
It just goes with reaching out to somebody on a whim and just seeing what happens. And it happened to work out, and I have been editing. Oh, well, I reached out to see if he wanted somebody to edit for him. I didn't say that specifically. Reached out. He was like, I would love that. It would help me out throughout the tour to have somebody editing for him. And long story short, or long story less long, I'm now editing for him.
Great job.
I've been editing since the first stop on the tour of this year, which was Vegas. I've been editing their practice rounds and just one doubles match that they do. So they do these doubles matches where Brody and Ezra go against two other pros. And it's been awesome. I mean, it's just like, it's just like I said, it's just finding something that I really like. I mean, like, okay, I'm spending a lot of time watching this. I can, like you said, I can do it in the sense of I can work in this field,
right,
and also be working under like something that I really like watching. And then I made it happen, and it's
you basically reach
happy.
out and you're like, yeah, dude, your edits are shit. What can I do to make them better?
Hey, dude, I can do this way better than you can.
Yeah, there you go.
but yeah, it's awesome. But anyways, that's my new job and me to nerd out. But yeah, really quickly, the Brody thing is funny because when I was 13, no, maybe more like 12, I became very obsessed with trick shot videos. I was no joke, I was a massive Dude Perfect fan. Like
Really?
huge. Yeah, but like back then, like in 2012, when they like a little
When
bit
they were really
after-
cool.
when they were actually cool. No, I was kidding. When they had first started, and I was fucking huge fan. And then comes along this guy, Brody Smith. And I'm like, who
Of
is
former Dude Perfect fame?
So right, so he comes along and he's doing frisbee trick shots, which nobody was really doing. Like Dude Perfect was doing ball trick shots and stuff, but Brody was doing frisbee trick shots, and for whatever reason, I like really glommed onto that for some reason. I don't even know why, but like then I became an even more of a fan of just Brody on his own, like his own stuff. Which is like the reason why I got into, or like I wanted to join Ultimate Frisbee Club my freshman year and only went like 3 times, is because he was a pro Ultimate player, and yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I became obsessed.
So
with
would you
that.
ever play like Ultimate Frisbee?
I did. I was in the Ultimate Frisbee Club in high school for 3 weeks.
No, but I mean
freshman
like would you ever go to like a Ultimate Frisbee like competition?
I don't really have any interest in Ultimate, to be honest.
Because
I'm past my prime on that. I don't know. Because what?
well, because like a YouTuber I watch,
Oh.
Marquez Brownlee is
Oh,
a
I know him.
professional frisbee player.
What? He is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ultimate?
Yeah. Professional.
What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait.
True story. MKBHD is a pro ultimate player.
He was the guy who was also Tyler the Creator's music teacher, right? Am I thinking of the same guy?
No, I don't think so.
Wait.
Marquez Brownlee does he does tech videos.
Yeah, he's the bald guy.
No, not the bald guy.
Who the fuck am I thinking of then?
I
Who was
don't
the
know
guy
you're
who
thinking
was... Hold on. I'm sorry. I have to look this up now.
Are you thinking of like there's a shoe guy named Jacques Slade. He's
That's who I'm thinking of. Wow,
he's
that
pretty
was-
cool.
Okay.
Is that who you were thinking of?
Yeah, sorry. I'm getting names mixed
I
up.
watch him too. I watch Jacques Slade too. He
I-
does shoe videos now.
I promise I'm not insensitive. I really just I'm not
No,
getting
it's
them mixed
okay.
up because they're both black people. I literally just their
No, Matt,
names got mixed up in my head.
No, Marquez Brownlee does. He's
Yeah.
the ultimate frisbee player in New York.
I knew he did tech. I know this guy. I just thought he was a different guy, but I had
didn't know
no
that. I didn't
idea
know
he
he-
played Ultimate.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow, that's so. I would have never known that. That's crazy. That's so weird. I would have never expected that from him.
Yeah, I mean, he said that, and he also plays golf pretty frequently. His dad got him into golf.
And that's why I think that's why I got it mixed up, is because I was thinking about Jacques Slade.
And he just made a golf video
Right. He
where
was
he
wearing
golfed into mischief.
Yep, that's why I thought of that. Because when you said
Yeah.
that, I was thinking about that. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, he's the guy, he's the bald guy.
Yeah, but I didn't know he was his music teacher. I just looked that up.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing I learned too.
Yeah, Nardwar found that out, of course.
That's fucking weird.
Which I think
That's
like
insane.
Jock had talked about that previously, but like nobody really knew about it until
Yeah.
Nardwar kind of blew it up late last year. But wow, I didn't even know that. But yeah, I
There
would
you go.
never. I would. I mean, I'm sure I would go
So,
watch.
Brody
but I would
Smith.
never play. Yeah, Brody was a huge fan of him to the point where I started my own trick shot channel when I was a kid, which I don't know if you knew that or not.
I don't think I did.
Maybe you didn't. It only like a lot of my phases then really only lasted like a couple months, and then I was out. But like heavily into making these trick shot videos with Quinn. Sorry, Quinn. He's probably gonna be embarrassed that I called him out on that, but I pretty much forced him into it. I didn't pretty much force him into it. I did. And
Your only friend.
yeah, it's just funny. Full circle, literally, kind of. Full circle. Going from like being such a huge fan of this guy when I was a kid to now I'm a fan of him again because of disc golf, and now I'm also like editing videos with him in it.
Right.
I don't want to say too much too soon, but I think I'm going to be editing it. I'm actually going to be editing a video for him tomorrow, it sounds like, Not confirming that or anything, but that's
Yeah.
what it sounds like. But yeah, it's just like a weird full circle moment. And obviously, I haven't like told him that, but like, I don't know. It was just funny to me to be like, this is so.
Small world.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Well, it's so weird to be like, talking to this guy that I've been watching for a few months as a pro on coverage, and then just to be like, oh, now I work for him, and we like, I won't say we're friends yet, but like, we talk like we're friends.
We chit chat.
We chit chat. We shoot the shit.
Yeah.
It's whatever. So, anyways, I'm so long winded today.
So, going into our quick ad read here. So,
Well, I still have.
oh, Jesus,
I
Carson.
still have more. Gavin.
What more do you have to talk about, man?
Well, I wanted this next one involves you, so you can finally talk. I'll allow you to talk now. I wanted to really quickly give my review of Cadbury mini eggs very quickly.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't know, Gavin is obsessed with Cadbury mini eggs.
I was at Walgreens last night. I totally fucking.
Did I give you
forgot
permission to talk? I was kidding. Go on.
I totally forgot about them until I left. But I bought Reese's. I bought Reese's eggs, like the Reese's peanut butter cup eggs.
That's a thing. Show me them right now.
They're not like small. They're not like super small.
Oh, you're talking about like they're
The peanut-
Reese's in the shape of an egg.
Yeah, in the shape of an egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my head, I was thinking, yeah. Oh, and you're gone. And he's back. In my head, I was thinking like Cadbury mini egg shaped hard, like a big Reese's Pieces is what I was thinking. And I was like, that would be fucking amazing. How did I
throwing
not
these in
know
my
this
fridge.
existed? Put them in there, baby. Got 10 minutes left. We're going to be going here in a second. Well, I can't believe you forgot about your favorite candy in the world. You just professed your love for them.
So you tried them. What'd you think?
So I had tried them previously, as I had mentioned in that episode, because of you. I never tried them before.
Fuck you.
And I had forgotten about them. And then you're just on and on. You just kept talking about them that episode. And I was like, okay, I got to go buy a bag and see what I actually
missing
think
out
about
on.
them.
Yeah.
See what I'm missing out on. Sure.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to give you my opinion right now, Gavin. And that is that I don't hate them, but I won't say that I love them.
I was kind of expecting that because I'm like, yeah, I know that the outside like shell can kind of be off-putting to people, but like, man, I just love that.
And that was the thing, is that was my main gripe with it.
I love that part.
That's so weird. Because the thing I love is the chocolate. I love
Yeah,
Cadbury
the chocolate is really good though.
Cadbury chocolate is like the best. It's like right up there with Kinder for me.
Yeah.
But that outer shell hurt my teeth. I felt like I was gonna, at one point when I was devouring the bag, because I did eat the whole thing in like 2 days.
Yeah, me too. I ate it one night.
Nice. At 8 a.m. before I went to bed.
I did it at work.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, I like went to Walgreens before work, or CVS, and I was like, oh fuck, they have these, and I bought them and I ate them at work. Yeah, they're like my dinner. I literally just had them for dinner.
I believe it. I've seen you.
The whole bag.
The whole bag. I ate the whole thing.
I ate the whole thing.
At one point when I was eating them, I bit down and I was like, I just broke my tooth. Like, no doubt. I didn't, but like that is how hard they are.
They can hurt.
Because they're hard, but then like the shell is not
You just gotta
shiny.
get better at chewing them.
I guess so. The shell is not shiny. They're like, it's rigid and like matte. It's like a matte finish. And I don't like that. I need my candy to be shiny.
I love it.
And then like, because they're like matte in the bag, they feel weird in the bag. They like feel like you're
like
rubbing.
Chalky.
Yeah, it feels like you're rubbing a bag full of chalk.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that was super off-putting to me because I'm like, textures and weird feelings and like, and weird sounds like make my skin crawl. And that was like one of those things where I was like, I had to get past that.
There was another egg I was thinking of that I really like. It's just chocolate-covered marshmallow eggs.
You're an egg guy, huh?
Yeah.
Chocolate-covered marshmallow. Chocolate-covered marshmallow.
Like chocolate-covered marshmallows in the shape of an egg.
Like the Russell Stover stuff?
The Russell Stover ones, but also like the Cadbury ones. I think, or Russell Stover. I think it is a Russell Stover, but the Cadbury ones too, like the Easter ones, are like, I think they're like $1 a piece or something like that.
When else are you gonna buy candy-shaped eggs? Egg-shaped candies.
Breakfast.
Good one. I don't like Russell Stover chocolate. I think it's garbage.
I like it. I only like it for that though. Only for the chocolate covered marshmallows. That's it.
The chocolate is just gross. Russell Stover
It's
chocolate is gross.
It's very cheap chocolate, and that's
Right.
also that's like the appeal to me with those marshmallow eggs is because it's like it's cheap.
And that's the thing is like Russell Stover looks like it is expensive.
Yeah, it looks like it is expensive.
And then you're like,
time.
it's $1 for this whole thing, and then you eat it,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, that's $1.
why. Yeah,
That
it's
is
definitely like dollar store stuff. But
That's my Cadbury review. One other quick thing, really quick, I promise, and then we're gonna jump off here and then come back with our ad read. Is another thing I'm really excited about is that the Yuengling Beer Company recently migrated to Missouri,
about time,
and
which is weird because Budweiser's here.
Right. And that was why, that was kind of part of the reason why they didn't have Yuengling here for a while, is because, Missouri runs on Bush. And so I didn't even know this was going to happen. My brother posted a Snapchat story of a big pallet full of Yuengling cases at a local Walmart. And he was like, it was like about to cry or something like that. And I was like, when the fuck did this happen? Just in time. And because I didn't know I was a fan of Yuengling beer. Like years and years ago, like one of the first times trying beer was on vacation with my dad. And he was like, oh, they have Yuengling down here. We should get that. And I was like, is that like a good beer? He's like, no, it's just cheap lager beer. And then I tried it. I'm like, this is fucking disgusting. I hated it. And then, years and years go by, and then I think it was when we were in like we were at a wedding in like Arkansas or something, like somewhat recently, and they had Yuengling, and I was like, oh, I'll get one. And then I was like, fuck, I really like this a lot. Like I didn't realize how much I loved it, how much I loved
So
drinking beer.
You bought a 24 pack and drank it all in one night.
No, this is the second one I've opened. That goes to like it'll take me a year to go through that box of Yuengling.
I had the Hershey's Yuengling.
Oh yeah. Wait, what? You did?
Yeah, I had it I had it on the weekend. I probably got COVID.
Oh, really?
Before we went out, my friend had like bought a whole bunch whenever she went to Indiana.
Oh, what'd you think of it? Because I had seen there's a story that goes with it.
It was a little rich. It was a little rich in flavor. It was
because that's probably
rich.
Was it a stout or was it still a lager? You probably don't
I think it was a stout. I don't remember.
That would make sense because like that's the point. Is like it's a chocolate stout.
So it wasn't bad, but
which
it was,
like. You're a stout.
I liked the
stout
chocolate
man.
Stout, yeah, I liked Four Hands chocolate cocoa chocolate or whatever it was.
And my brother company made the
yeah. I like that a lot better than the Yuengling one, but it's good. So.
I mean, yeah, it's just.
What do you think of Yuengling? You said you like it, cheap lager.
I don't like lager beers, and we'll rarely talk about beers because we're not those kind of guy. Well, we kind of do talk about it a lot, in all honesty. I'm not a big fan of lagers. Usually, I'm just usually a fan of like an ale, a pale ale, or a sour or something like that, like a Budweiser. Budweiser a lager?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So, but I don't think I'm a fan of lagers. But Yuengling is one of my favorite, just like generic beers.
Yeah,
for sure. And I was just pumped to see them move here. And
about time.
That's my excitement for Yuengling. So if you're in Missouri, I also think they moved to Texas and some other states now have Yuengling. Go get it. Unless you don't drink, then just keep not drinking. I don't have a problem with it, so I can do what I want. No, this is literally the second one I've had. I've had this for like a week and a half now.
Jesus, dude, speed it up.
I'm trying to. Okay, let's go ahead and just hop off this real quick, and we'll come right back. We'll just open right. The next thing you're gonna hear is the ad read. Here we go. Yeah, I mean it's something unlike we've seen in our 10 years of doing this show.
Yeah.
Oh, see you soon, Dad. We're going north. We need to go this way.
No, what? What are you talking about?
We're literally going in circles, dude.
Your damn dad put us in these woods.
Stop filming me, Jim! You're still going!
It's unexplainable. I
Yeah.
think we just need to.
We just gotta show you.
Now, for our audio listeners, that's gonna sound like that was just us talking over something, but it was not. You're gonna have to watch the video to truly see what that was. Now
Carson, our background isn't on.
Oh, frick. Oh, no.
Carson.
Oh, I'm trying quick. We got to get back in the cafe. We're back. Now, what was that? Well,
That was a trailer for...
maybe the biggest blockbuster of the summer. It was a trailer for a movie... Of the spring. Sorry. Fuck you. Well,
the new Oscar season.
Is it spring? It is spring, right?
No, not yet.
Well,
got like a week.
Well, way to blue ball me.
Sorry.
Way to black pill me.
Yeah, you're blue pilled.
That is a film that we didn't even make. We just happened to be in it. Obviously, if you heard,
We got asked
to
to do something for it.
We got asked to do something for it, so we are in it. We can say that for sure. We have starring roles in it, as you could hear, and and we can't say exactly what the roles are. Of course, we did sign an NDA, but the information we can tell you, if you didn't watch it, it is a film called Probably Never. It's a short film, and it will be coming out. The live premiere will be happening if you're listening to this on Friday. It will be coming. The premiere will be happening March 19th at 7 p.m. Has that been announced yet? I think it has.
So.
Should be 7 p.m., but March 19th. To keep up to date with it.
On Slippery Joe Films.
That's right, Gavin. You can only see the live premiere at youtube.com/@SlipperyJoeFilms. Now, youtube.com/ and then the @ symbol, Slippery Joe Films. Mark your calendars, March 19th, I believe 7 p.m. Live premiere. You'll be able to see the film, and then all we can say without spoiling anything, because we're probably not supposed to spoil anything, or maybe we are, I don't know. You're going to want to watch the live premiere, not just for the film. That's all I'm going to say. There's, if you're a fan of us, if you think we're funny, which I hope you are if you're listening to this, you're going to want to tune in. You're going to want to tune in live, because it's going to be, there's something. It's not just the film. There's something else. That's our little ad. Thank you, Slippery Joe Films, for paying us to do that. Paying us the big bucks to be in the movie. Moving on real quick, Gavin. Oscars.
The big winners of the night. We got The Whale, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Whale with Frasier, played by Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, played by Kelsey Grammer. The Whale Man.
Pinocchio 3000.
Pinocchio 3000, the 20-year anniversary.
20-year anniversary. No, if you couldn't pick up on our shit, we did not watch the Oscars. But
No.
Gavin, what we did do for the first time in 2 years is we watched live the On Cinema Oscar special, the 10th anniversary, the 10th On Cinema Oscar special, which is crazy. 10th year they've done it, not consecutively, because they never skipped a year, that I know of.
Yeah, they couldn't have, because COVID was like right after Oscars.
Exactly.
2020.
They just happened to do it like right before that year. And so obviously Gavin had COVID this past weekend, so we did watch it together, but how we did that is we were in a voice chat in Discord.
Right.
And we were both watching it. Now, Gavin was able to watch all of it. I was able to watch 90% of it, because the first hour was spent with me trying to figure out how to watch it on my TV and have the Discord without it lagging. And the way I ended up having to do that was like to stack up these boxes because I didn't have a long enough HDMI cable to connect my computer to it.
Sounds like you need a longer HDMI cable, if you ask me.
You should have bought me one. I could have DoorDashed it. And then the color on my TV from my computer was all fucked up, so then I was tinkering with that. It was a nightmare for me to finally get it set up, but then we did. We watched it together, and my God, did we laugh a lot. We
I
truly
was-
did, and I'm not just
It's
saying.
literally
that.
one of the it's still one of the weirder things I ever have spent time watching. It's
I
always an experience with Greg Turkington and Tim Heidecker on the forefront of
They're-
the screen.
there's something else, and I feel like on a smaller scale we have that like kind of the dual energy, you know what I mean, where like
Yeah,
we feed
yeah.
off of each other in a way
Yeah.
that they do, maybe not the same way, but
That
like
was a funny thing we kept noticing was how
Yeah.
Tim had to keep hiding his laughs because like Greg would say something and like would say it completely straight face, and then Tim would just go.
yeah, Tim would just try not to laugh, which
He wouldn't even
There's-
smile. He'd just be like,
yeah, there's YouTube compilations of like literally just Tim trying not to
Not to
break
laugh.
character, or Tim breaking
Right.
character, Greg breaking
Yeah.
character. Because that's the whole like point of the show, is literally just to make those two guys to make each other laugh
right.
in a ridiculous way. And I feel like Greg was really like digging into that this
Yeah.
year.
Way
Like, I
more this
real-
year.
Yeah, I never really felt that since. And I think like because the past couple years, like there have been some issues with the live stream. Like this year it seemed to go off without a hitch. It seemed like there was no issues at all.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
there was maybe like one issue at one point, but I don't even think we noticed, or I don't even think.
And it really
many
didn't
people
affect
noticed.
anything.
Yeah, exactly. So like that was the funniest part to us, was just like seeing them, Tim
Yeah.
trying not to laugh, and oh my god, it was they really did something insane.
They had like
this year.
5,000 people watching, which was like a lot
Yeah.
more people than I was expecting.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god.
And some people I follow, like the gal I shared with you on Twitter, who said that it was like really weird, or it was like
Mhm.
insane to see like him talk about like how he is a changed person with like Pinocchio 3000,
Right.
like, playing in the background or something like that, was like insane. And
Never in my
that-
life have heard of Pinocchio 3000
yeah, me neither.
ever.
And
I thought it was
and
fake when they first brought
Me
it
too.
up.
I was like, no way, that's not. I was like, no
Right.
way, that's not real. But that's the movie expertise of Greg Turkington.
That's true. That's why they were celebrating him. This was
Yeah, that's
a
why they're celebrating him,
celebration
because
for
he's just so good at knowing movies. So
Greg. He's super
we watched
knowledgeable.
that and had a good time. While doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I was gonna what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something really quick and then I forgot. Oh yeah. Like a lot of people watch on cinema, and it's like, a lot of people watch Office Hours, and I'm like, you've seen Office Hours? But like especially on cinema, I think just has like
I didn't think anybody. I honestly didn't think many people like knew of it.
yeah. But you know who is just like recently
a big
like
cinephile.
came out as a big fan of On Cinema and like started posting a bunch of clips of it is who is he used to be an NBA basketball player, and now he's like a Twitter guy. He,
Rex
like,
Chapman.
Yep. Rex Chapman is a big On Cinema fan now.
Really?
And like has tweeted about it many times. And he's like,
Really?
I love On Cinema. He's like, On Cinema is so good and so funny. And Bob Odenkirk is a On Cinema fan too, believe it or not.
Yeah. I mean, I believe it because he
Right.
knows Tim.
So yeah, oh my god, Vic's edit of the Pinocchio.
That was fucking insane. I feel like I was going crazy.
I was really happy that you and I both were like, Vic
This
had to
has
have
to be
edited
Tim.
this.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know going into it, but like
yeah. At
as
the end,
soo-
they showed
yeah.
credits.
as soon as it went from like, it just started getting weirder and weirder, and then like dark, I was like, that's a Vic edit.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
like Vic takes normal things and makes them like scary for no reason, and then you're like, fuck, this is scary though. And,
that was so good.
masterful work. I need to text Vic and tell him that was amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things I've ever seen, especially was that. Like
Yeah.
I honestly just want to rewatch this whole Oscar special because it was just,
Yeah.
oh my god, there's a million things I could talk about that were so funny, especially Howie Mandel actually having a cameo. Oh, there was so funny, and he
Yeah,
actually
that was
mentions
not
Pinocchio
expected.
3000.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
fuck.
god, that was so weird. But
Great time.
yeah.
What did you think about the actual Oscars? Any opinions on that?
It was a very populist Oscars. It felt like there was a lot of like, it didn't seem like it was very film snob about
Yeah.
everything, because it was like the big winners won, like the ones that people wanted to won.
Right.
Save for like I think best animated film, which I think ended up being like the Pinocchio Quentin Tarantino movie.
3000.
Yeah, the Pinocchio Quentin Tarantino movie, which came out like December or something like that.
I think you're thinking of
Um,
Guillermo del Toro, not
I'm sorry. Who did I say?
Quentin Tarantino.
Fuck. I'm sorry. I meant Guillermo del Toro.
Same thing.
A lot of different L's and
Yeah, it's almost
yeah.
midnight.
Sorry,
You're
I meant
okay.
yeah. I definitely meant Guillermo del Toro, but I wanted to see that.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah, yeah.
one it doesn't seem like that exciting, but I like stop motion.
Yeah, you can go see it.
Yeah, I'll go see it by myself.
Speaking of stop motion, our pal Skinner is making a stop motion
Yeah,
horror movie.
I saw it. It looks really cool.
Looks
I was
fucking
not
awesome.
I was not expecting like it looks really good. Like I was
Yeah.
not expect. I knew he was talking big talk about it, but I was like, okay, but how much effort you really put into this? And it looks pretty fucking amazing.
Their Kickstarter met their goal so quickly of $80,000.
Yeah,
It was like that, and now they're
Yeah.
92,000. Like they'll probably
yeah,
get 100,000 before the Kickstarter closes. So by the way,
which is
go check
nuts.
that out. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know who would be listening to this that doesn't know Skinner or needs us to tell them to go check it out. But
Yeah.
go check that out.
It's pretty cool.
It's so fucking
Dungeons and
awesome.
Dragons, and it's nuts.
I texted him and I was just like, "This is awesome." I'm like, "This is
Yeah.
so cool."
Yeah,
So
good.
Yeah, I was happy about everything winning everything.
Yeah,
But like, and I'm glad it did and well deserved. But like, I just think about like how many other movies there are that came out that
Yeah.
weren't even like nobody even fucking touched it. But for like
yeah,
somehow this like kind of obscure movie that became super popular won a bunch of Oscars. You know what I
think,
mean? But
yeah,
like, why
I
aren't
think-
other things that are like
Well,
equally
there was
as good or whatever?
There was this guy I follow. I think his name is like Moschino Dorito or something like that. I forgot his real name, but he's like, it was a good movie, but was it like was it like however many, like 7 Oscars good? You know what I mean? Like it was good movie, but like now everybody's gonna like go, like people who hadn't seen it before, like myself, are gonna go into it thinking like this is going to be the best movie of all fucking time, because that's theoretically you could interpret that all these awards would
Mean that.
insinuate that yes, this is probably a really good movie, you should watch it, and it's really good, and it's deserving because a lot of great people worked in this movie, and there wasn't like any Harvey Weinsteins like on
No.
fucking set, or like there wasn't any like allegations or anything that came out,
Right.
and it was a very well representative movie of like race, ethnicities, and like everything everywhere all at once. Just did a really good job of representing everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
And
So,
and it's cool. Like there's actors in it, actors in it, actors and actresses. I'm just gonna call them all actors in it that but they're ones that don't get the recognition they deserve. And there's a few
Right.
people you've never even heard of.
yeah,
And it was fucking awesome that all of those people, Jamie Lee Curtis never got an Oscar. Can't remember the other guy's name, and I'd probably butcher how to pronounce it
Is it
anyways.
Ken?
I can't even remember. The guy who got Best Supporting Actor
Okay.
has been in movies as a kid, Goonies, Indiana Jones. Like,
yeah.
has just worked his ass off to finally get it. And like that like gave me goosebumps hearing him get announced and go up there, because it was just like this guy who like has been a B-list actor his whole career. Like, no offense, but like a B-list actor, a secondary actor as a kid, and then like was in like as an adult was in no movies that I would probably even know. And then
like,
now it's like this
There wasn't
fucking-
many opportunities for like Asian people in acting.
Right, exactly.
10 years ago even.
And then for him to just get that, it's just like, it's so inspiring, and it was so cool. And same thing with Best Actress again. I'm gonna butcher how to pronounce her name.
Is it
Michelle.
Ki Hui Kwan?
And then
That's how I pronounce
Michelle.
it. No, Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, I'm gonna butcher how to pronounce that. Her
Yeah.
name's literally Michelle. Idiot. It's just so deserving and awesome. And of course, the directors, the Daniels, who friend of the show, directed Doug's short film,
Yeah.
which we didn't get to talk about with him. But
They also directed the
Swiss Army Man.
no, I was thinking of the music video.
Oh, shoot! You brought that up with me, and now I'm blanking. Look it up. Look it up, you. Why you? But yeah, I'm very happy and it's well deserved, but
Turned down for what? That's what it did.
right, I
That's what
forgot about that.
That's the one. They
well,
directed that.
yeah, well deserving. I'm happy the Oscars recognized that, but still fuck the Oscars for not recognizing a bunch of other movies, and also
Yeah,
not
and also
recognizing
not inviting Will Smith out.
right. He could have slapped Chris Ross in the penis. And also fuck the Oscars for not recognizing like a shit ton of amazing actors who passed away this past year, and just completely, James Caan and
Yeah, that's right.
Paul Sorvino. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, and then the guy who played Paulie Walnuts in Sopranos, whose name I can't remember either. Bunch of people that were not recognized. Fucking shout out Michael Imperioli for making a post about that and stuff, because again, it's just like, I don't know.
It was actually a lot of Sopranos actors who did pass away this year. Now I think about it, it
Yeah.
was like at least 3, right?
No, I think just one. Oh, maybe 2, because I can't remember the other guy's name. I think his name was Vincent or something. Vince.
It was a guy who he was also in Saints of Newark.
Yeah. Oh,
The grovelly voice kind of guy.
Ray Liotta.
Yeah, Ray Liotta.
I think they talked. Nobody was saying
Okay.
that they didn't mention Ray Liotta, so I would
That's
assume
good.
they did. Right, it's good, but they're
Miss
Paul-
some other people.
Paul Sorvino. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. It might not even be his name. Who was also in Goodfellas with Ray Liotta. He was the mob boss in Goodfellas.
Mhm.
Passed away, not recognized at all.
Well,
So,
because he was a mob boss.
right, in a movie. But yeah, I mean, it's just whatever. It's still fuck the Oscars.
The way of the world.
Always. The way of the
Oh,
water.
it's-
Avatar.
honestly, will be fuck the Oscars, but
Right. I mean, it's just.
I don't really care for him because it's always
No.
been uppity to me.
Yep. Uppity and
And-
gentrified.
Yeah, and anybody who like watches them is like, okay, I mean, sure, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
do you really like some? Yeah, I don't know. I've never been like a big fan of them because it's like I don't watch any of these fucking movies anyway.
I saw a bunch of white people that I know having Oscar parties.
That's always been kind of a thing though.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know.
And it's like, it's like, it's just constant commercial breaks, because
Yeah.
like, how else are you gonna fill the time of like getting people off stage, getting people prepped to come up and announce the next person, or
Right.
getting a performance ready? Like,
Right.
it's just like you get a couple minutes of someone getting the award, saying their acceptance speech that they are strictly timed on, and
Yeah.
then commercial break for however
Whatever.
long, 5-10
Right.
minutes.
Right.
So I don't know what I don't know why would be like this year. I can understand because there was a
A
movie
lot
that
of
deserved
a lot of people also watch these movies.
right
They were up for
for the first time ever.
Yeah, that's the thing is that like, always it's always been like that to me where it's like it wasn't always movies that I've ever even heard of. Like Green Book,
Mhm.
for example, I was like I didn't even know that fucking came out.
Is that the Kelly Green Book
Yeah,
with the cars in it?
yeah,
Kelly Blue Book.
Kelly Blue Book.
Yeah, I wish that Banshees of Inisherin got recognized for something. Obviously, they were nominated for stuff, which is good, but that would have been one that was deserving of something. I don't know what exactly, but I'm just glad it was nominated. That would be like that was a movie that like I probably wouldn't have even watched unless people were talking about that it was good.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is deserving of being nominated for stuff.
Right.
But yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Unless you had something else to say.
No, I did not.
He's got nothing. That guy Gavin, his head's full of nothing.
I'm tired.
I am
man.
too, man. It's been a long day for your boy. You've been awake since you were awake at it. You've been awake since 8 a.m., but then you probably
Yeah.
slept.
Yeah, I did take a nap.
Gavin, what you listening to this week?
I'm listening to
Bastard.
I'm listening to Stuck on the Puzzle by Alex Turner from the album / LP for Submarine, which is a movie And also like the name of this EP, I guess, by Alex Turner,
Alex Turner is in.
the singer of Arctic Monkeys.
That's right.
And
I was gonna say that.
It came out in 2011, so it's a little bit older. But I heard this a while ago. I listened to Pile Driver Waltz before because that was on their Stuck It in C EP. Yeah, so this song followed by Pile Driver Waltz are both really good songs. But I can't recommend the whole thing because I haven't listened to all of it. But Stuck on the Puzzle is a really good song. It's got really great chords in it and very easy listening. And I just like Alex Turner's songwriting, so it adds up with the old Alex Turner songwriting stuff. So
Nice.
I enjoy it. It's got a cute little piano, like a dinky piano in it, so it
It's
sounds
cute.
like a dinky piano. So I like it.
It's cute.
It's good.
Well, keeping on with the easy listening, Gavin. I got a little bit of a left field recommendation for you or for the audience. I actually recommended it to you literally a couple hours after we wrapped the last episode. And that is the album Better Luck in the Next Life by, I'm assuming he just goes by Child, but it's Child with like 75 eyes in it. So I'm sorry if it's pronounced Child or something. I'm gonna say it's Child, right? Wouldn't you say it? Wouldn't you used to call it Child?
Yeah.
Him Child, it Child, whatever. It's just a good album. I didn't know what to expect. Kind of bringing it in with Under Oath again. Their synth player and auxiliary percussion player, I guess you'd also call him, just like posted this on his story, and he's like kind of a music producer, but he also does scores for movies. And so, I just saw that. I was like, fuck, I don't know what this is. I'm going to listen to it.
What are the odds? Let's listen to it.
Right. And expecting it to be like a heavy album or something, or, like rock. And then it was just like this cool, like, easy listening hip hop, like R&B album with like really cool instrumentals and stuff that I was just like, not usually what I listen to, but it was so different and interesting that I was just like, I really am digging this. And like,
Right.
I haven't, to be completely honest, I haven't listened to it much since that night and the next day, but I re-listened to it again today to make sure that was what I did want to recommend.
Right.
And yeah, it's just good. It's just easy to listen to. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just good. It's just like easy listening hip hop, like I said. And Gavin did point something out that it is a little Post Malone-y sounding.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
I'm
I
sure
mean?
Post Malone like
Stole it from somebody else.
yeah, stole it from
it,
somebody
you know
else,
what I
or
mean?
that like he kind of took inspiration from.
But he's
Or
like
yeah,
the
a similar
mainstream
producer or something like that.
Yeah.
But it sounds a lot like Post Malone. So I think if you like
Yeah.
Post Malone, you'll like this album a lot.
Yeah, and I don't even really. I mean, I liked Post Malone back when I was going through that phase. I haven't listened to much of his new stuff since.
No, me either.
I think it's become a little bit too mainstream for my taste, whereas this is like, I wouldn't say underground by any means, but it's like, it's not like stuff you're really going to hear on the radio. It's a little bit different.
Yeah,
It's a little odd.
A little bit different.
More-
Little different.
Yeah, more instrumental.
Yeah,
really
a little
good
bit
though.
Way more instrumental. I like that stuff.
Yeah, really
Really
easy
good.
listening. First song off the album, Better Luck in the Next Life. It's just a really cool song. It's just like a fucking crazy weird way to intro this album.
album.
Like, yeah,
Right.
listening to the intro song, I didn't know what I was getting into with this album. Like, I didn't know that it was going in the direction it was. That's really good. If you really like Post Malone, definitely check out Bon Voyage. It's the second song. That's like very Post Maloney. Post Baloney.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
My
Baloney.
favorite song off the album is Into the Deep End. It is so fucking cool. The bass line on it is just like unlike anything I've heard. Holy fuck, that song is just like I could listen to that song over and over again. I hope I packed a parachute. Really good. Running Out of Hallelujahs are all really good. Yeah, it's just it's an album you got to check out, I think. I think everybody should. And Gavin seemed to enjoy it.
I enjoyed it.
I don't think it was your favorite thing
Wasn't
in the
bad,
world.
but
yeah.
it's not my favorite. But it was
Right.
good. It was really easy listening and very well produced.
And I think that's what I would say, too. It's just like, it's not my thing. It's not my favorite thing in the whole wide world, but I really enjoyed it. And that's,
I think some people would really like it.
I think so too, and that was kind of the reason of me wanting to recommend it. Is just because it's like, not a hardcore album, even though there's so
Yeah.
much good hardcore shit coming out right now, dude. Holy shit!
Are you saying that ironically or not?
No, there is, dude.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I couldn't tell.
It's nuts. I can't wait to talk about it soon. But yeah, I just wanted to recommend that to break the cycle. All right, you fucker. I'm just gonna say the intro music's playing right now. I'll put it in post.
The outro?
The outro. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I
Long
gotta
night.
Go to bed.
Yeah, me too.
Long day, son.
Yeah, man.
Wrap it up.
Well,
for us, you
well, everybody,
you little bitch.
have that pulled up. Please have your thing fucking pulled up right now. I don't want to wait for it. Well, everybody, thanks for listening to the talk. It's
That's all. folks.
well, everybody, thanks for listening to the It Takes All Kinds podcast, episode 106. Keep watching, keep listening, keep sharing. We saw a couple people shout us out on Twitter recently. That was nice,
Yeah.
interesting. Was not expecting that at all.
Some new listeners recently.
New
too, I
listeners.
think.
And keep doing what you're doing. Listen to us.
We love you.
Rate and listen.
Goodbye, bye.
Oh, dang it.
Goodbye, bye.